Chairlady Hazelwood renews her motion. Representative Carr, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And we appreciate all the hard work that all the committee has done with the Chair Lady Hazelwood and Chairman Hicks there. I have one little question I'd like to ask, though, please. I introduced a bill, it's HB 2012, to restore the historic sharing of the sales tax revenues with our cities and towns. For nearly 60 years, the state shared a small percentage of the sales tax designated for the general fund with cities. In 2002, the state altered the relationship when it increased the state's sales tax from 6% to 7% and chose not to share associated revenues with cities. Now, it's been 20 years, and myself and a number of our colleagues support restoring this sharing relationship. Of course, as you know, that went behind the budget, I believe, but this budget does not include any of those funds dedicated to ensure the state begins to share all the sales tax dollars generated from the general fund. Is that correct?
Chairlady Hazelwood, you're recognized.
That is correct.
Representative Carr.
Thank you. And just to read it, I think we have come to an agreement now that we're probably going to take this back up next year, and we're going to look at this diligently, because just for facts so that you'll know about this, today 92% of the sales tax of the state's total sales tax collections are generated within city limits. Thus, this sharing amounts to a practice of returning the cities a small portion of the state's sales tax revenue in order to reduce the local tax burden, and a burden that is borne by the city taxpayers and is directly associated with keeping the state's economy going. So I appreciate what we've done today. It got put behind the budget this year, but I want you to know that next year we're going to be doing this and try to include a little bit of that tax for our cities. And I appreciate the chairman's and Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairlady Hazelwood.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As the representative has mentioned, this is something that I'm sure we'll get further discussion in other years, but as I mentioned in the beginning, we couldn't fund everything in this budget. We have a great deal of money, but we still do not have the money to fund everything, and I think it was more important to make sure that we got tax cuts back in people's pockets than perhaps tax cuts to local governments who also at this particular time have funds that they have received from through various federal sources. So maybe next year.